Hello everybody, welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone. It's fantastic as always to have you joining in on another one of my videos. So how are you all going? A couple of weeks ago I did a video looking at those real money 50-cent pieces versus the fiat trash 50-cent pieces, and how many fiat 50-cent pieces now buys a real money 50-cent piece from 1966. And I did that when the price was, I don't know, when it was pushing up into the 70s. And then after that, silver pushed all the way up until 84, maybe almost $85. And now we're right back down into the low 70s. What a roller coaster ride that's been. Gold was like 6,600 and something, and now it's down below 6,100 Australian. Now we have to take a breath. This is where we need to take a really deep breath. Gold and silver have done unprecedented things recently, and with that comes added volatility. It's not because of the actual inherent value of gold and silver at all. It is all to do with the speculative trading within ETFs, options, and all those sorts of things. And as it was rising, so quickly, it built a perfect platform for those with big money or big cash positions to be able to just absolutely short it. And that's what they did. They've taken full advantage of it. Do the fundamentals of gold and silver shift with that? No, they don't. All right. If you were buying gold and silver and platinum in the last few weeks, and you've bought in at the $80 level, and obviously if you're talking margin, not the premium you've got to pay above that, you could have been paying in the 90s for an ounce of silver. Okay, I feel your pain. I mean, I didn't do that, and that's because I was doing my buying back when I told you I was. All right, back in 2022 was the time to really be getting in on it. But obviously not everybody watches this channel. Not everybody is exposed to gold and silver information. So with this wave of gold and silver purchasing, a lot of people that would never have even thought about it, they're onto it and they're jumping on it. And you might be one of those people. And now you're looking at the price and going, what happened? What do I do? Gold and silver are long-term savings, and they are hedges against inflation. They are not a get-rich-quick scheme. Why do the rich hold gold? To stay wealthy. They're not doing it to get rich. They are doing it to counteract against the constant aggressive devaluing of the crap, paper, cash, fiat, rubbish. That's why they stay rich, because they hold gold. Okay, and the price has gone up just exponentially, and now it's had a really sharp pullback in a short window of time. But let me tell you a little bit about my experience. My experience when I first started to buy silver and gold, the price was, gold was, I don't know, maybe $1,800 an ounce. Silver was around $30-something an ounce. And that was just, after the global financial crisis, and then gold and silver went ballooning in 2011 kind of thing. Silver 2011, gold a bit prior to that. I bought as it was coming back down, thinking that this was that position, similar to what we're sort of looking at now. It's coming off, and I thought it'll go back up again. Pardon me. It didn't do that. It came all the way off. Gold was all the way back down. Silver went back down to a low of about $18 an ounce from 30. Thing is, what I'm trying to get across to you is, it might feel like you go and you buy gold and silver and platinum, and then the day after, down it goes. But what if I look at it now? What if I look at, I was buying at $30 back then. I know it's a long time since then, but I was buying that for that price then. And since that time, when I first got in, I was able to buy silver at below $30 an ounce, or around about that $30 an ounce. Very low 30s once we factor in the margin or the premium I had to pay for each individual coin. What I'm getting at is, now I'm looking at still more than double on that from that time. So pullbacks are going to happen, but one thing that's not stopping ever is the devaluing of the trash that we hedge against when we buy or convert into real money. Okay, that decay is still occurring. And so we've got these wild fluctuations at the moment. But I would argue that rather than panicking and saying, oh my gosh, I finally got in, but I've got in at the top and I need to go sell it. Well, while I can't give you advice, I'm not a financial advisor, although I tell you what, I give better advice than they do sometimes, but I'm not qualified, so don't take it as advice. Just hear it as I do it, because this is what I'm doing, and you want to copy me, fantastic. But look, just from my experience, these moments where you've already gone in on some, it's a good idea to have a look at maybe going in on more when it pulls back. Rather than go and panic sell, look at, and this is why sometimes it's a good idea to, some like to call it dollar cost average. Don't go all in on it for the amount that you want to in one go. So hopefully, you decided, I'm going to buy some. I'm going to convert some fiat trash into some real money, but you kept some, as they say, powder dry for a later time. That might be, for you, that later time, even though it's such a short window of time that's passed. Well, dropping from $84 an ounce silver down to $71 an ounce silver, like, just based on that, could be that window of opportunity to get some more. And I'm really, really sorry to the bullion dealers out there who are struggling still to fill demand, because it went crazy. Premiums have gone up a little bit as well, as they have to, because supply becomes a challenge. So this is the other thing. The supply hasn't changed. I imagine, I'm not in the supply business for it, so I can't speak directly to it, but I can't imagine that supply was very, very tight only a couple of weeks ago and then suddenly is not so tight now. So even though the price has come off, that might have an effect on it might affect demand and slow demand, perhaps, with some. But for others who have been in this for a very long time, it might actually increase demand, because they say, fantastic, the paper market has brought the price down. I'm buying more today. So the bullion dealers, they're still going to be under the pump. But you'd have to speak to them directly about it. But my bullion dealer of choice, I know that they've been posting videos about being completely under the pump. How about I put a shout out to them, because they really are the bee's knees when it comes to bullion dealers these days, and they are the only ones that I deal with now. This is not a sponsored video, it's just genuinely me wanting to give them a big thumbs up, and that is Bullion Now. They are in there at the CBD. Was it level 6, 227 Little Collins Street in Melbourne? I think I've got the address right there. You'll find them there. They've recently revamped their office space, or their serving space. I think they've got some private rooms as well for larger orders and all that sort of thing. But I know they've been under the pump, and sorry guys if you're seeing this video and and I'm throwing more business your way, but it's only because you guys do such a brilliant job. But with the price coming off like it has, I'd argue that if you were in a situation a little bit different to mine, because I positioned myself a lot earlier, but people come to position themselves in precious metals at different times. So don't compare yourself to me. Please don't do that. I don't go and compare myself to people that were buying silver at $5 an ounce, or $10 an ounce, who were in it 10 years before me. There's no point in that. And so if you are just comparing yourself to yourself and you go, oh gosh, I was buying at the low 80s or 80 or the high 70s, and now it's the low 70s, it might be time to just say, do you know what, I might get a little bit more. But then wait and hold off and maybe get a little bit more, because it may still drop further. I'm not going to try and predict these things. What I do expect though is, so what I expected did happen. Once it got to the price of like that record highest price, 1980 high in US dollar terms, once it hit that, it sort of hovered there for a little bit, pulled back a little bit, sort of played around there, but really in a short-term sense, really it blew through it and absolutely went crazy. But it's had its pullback now. So does it move up from here? It's likely. Does it still come off a little bit more before going up? Yep, that's also likely. And that's why we want to, stagger our purchases or transfers. They're not really, I don't like to call them purchases. You go and you use dollars to buy it, but really it's just another financial aspect of, your wealth portfolio. You are transferring one type of attempt at money into real money. And so yeah, if you're wanting to transfer a little bit more into real money now, it could very well be a good time to do that. Just looking at what it's already done, bearing in mind, please, that in 10 years' time, likely you are going to be looking back and going, gee, at the time I was a bit skeptical or a bit worried about it. I bought at the high and then it came off a little bit, and I bought some more and it came off even more, and then I bought a little bit more. And then, well, look at it now. It's double, it's triple what it was 10 years ago. I'm so glad I did what I did. And that's why we don't allocate everything of what we have into any given asset. But your long-term savings, being in real money, will be far more beneficial than having it in a bank account that is paying you interest that is lower than real inflation. And it's lower than the inflation numbers they tell us, which means it's way lower than the inflation numbers that they don't tell us, which is the real inflation. Look at how much things cost in all of the supermarkets just in the last 18 months, 2 years, and go, well, if inflation is 5%, 6%, they're trying to get it down to 3%, how have I now needed to pay 50%, 100% extra on these grocery items? Sorry, that doesn't add up. So real inflation is way, way higher. And that's why, one of the reasons why we're seeing a short squeeze in the gold and the silver price and everything like that. It's always playing catch up. Like, there are people that, if you start to research this beyond what I can share with you, there are people far more, have far more expertise in this stuff than I do. They talk about gold needing to be far, far higher than it even is now. But of course, if it did that, it's already done what it has done. If it did even more, the confidence that that takes away from the wider market is huge. People just would be like, gosh, the dollar's not even worth this much, right? But far too many people still believe that cash, currency, is money, and they treat it as such. and they save it in the bank, and they go and borrow from the bank, and then they have an offset account that reduces their interest and everything, without thinking about the fact that all of that is devaluing. And their savings is actually not worth the paper that it's printed on, or the screen that it's showing up on, if you're looking at a screen. And what we have seen this year, the last couple of years in particular, I mean, let's think about it. Gold was just getting above 3,000 and going towards 3,300 or something at what, the beginning of 2024? And now it's 6,000 and gone as high as 6,600. Unprecedented. Why? The world is not the same place as it was even then, and I don't foresee that changing. I foresee everything moving the same direction as it is, because government policies, the way people treat each other in the world has not changed at all. And it takes a huge drastic change to shift back to what was in the past to get us back to what it was in a financial sense. Anyway, this video is getting a little bit long now. I just wanted to touch base with you all, see how you're all going, encourage you that it not is all is not lost if you jumped in with a purchase, your first ever purchase perhaps. All is not lost. You might look at it and go, oh, I bought at the top. I think I've bought at the top in gold and silver multiple times. And while it's still, it irks me, I go, oh my gosh, seriously, I bought at that and it's dropped $200. I've bought at that, and over this period of time, it's dropped another $5 in the silver. Yeah. Look at it now. I'm sitting pretty. And I've got my financial future far more secure than I would have if I didn't do it. So that's it. That's it for me today. It really is just an encouragement to you. Everybody has their journey in precious metals starting at different times. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Challenge yourself. Question yourself. Is this the right thing to do? What are these people saying? Did they do what they're saying, or just trying to sell me something? Okay. And I'll finish on this. All right. One of the reasons why I like bullion now, all right, is because the founder of Bullion Now has a very similar thought process to real money as what I do, and also about how to help people. His goal, Michael's goal, has been to educate, and that's how I came across the channel originally back in 2020, right? Beginning of COVID, everything was going a bit crazy, but it was an education video about gold in particular. And I mean, I already had experience in gold, and that's fine, but it was good to see that. And if you ask him, he'll tell you, because he has posted this on videos before, he has had a discussion that could be construed as talking someone out of buying gold and silver, even from his business, because he felt it wasn't the good fit for them. Right? Now, you've got someone saying, hey, don't buy from me this product, right? Because I don't feel it's the right fit for what you're trying to achieve. Now, don't take my advice necessarily. I don't think it's a good fit for you. He's not trying to sell something to someone when he doesn't believe that it's a good idea. So the education thing, sure, they run a business and they're obviously trying to make a profit there. They're also trying to create a scenario or a place where people feel safe to and can trust them, to get the product that they want and all of those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, it's not just a business, it's a whole way of life. It's a whole philosophy for Michael. Fantastic, because that's exactly what I believe too. I do this because I want to do it. I also do these videos because I want people to open their minds to the possibility that it could be a good fit for them. All right, so that's one huge reason why I deal only with bullion now. Now I don't deal with any other bullion dealer. All right, and that's a large portion of why. That's a large reason why, because I want to be dealing with someone who doesn't just try to sell a product. They believe in the product. They believe in the reason why you should get the product, and they also believe in good education so that someone knows whether that's the right thing for them to do or not. All of those things matter, and it's the only place that I have found that all of those things come together really well. So yeah, that's why it's a good fit for me. Anyway, I'm not trying to sell you on these guys. I'm just trying to say that, you know, I come from the same thinking. All right, and that's I do my YouTube. I make no money out of doing YouTube and never expect to, and I don't care about that. What I care about is putting some passion behind what I do for myself, hoping that it might just help someone else navigate it. And I'm definitely pointing you guys to the Bullion Now channel on YouTube. Subscribe there. You'll get some fantastic content from there. They'll talk about not just the stuff they're bringing in, but they do a live stream pretty much every Friday, 2:30 till 4 p.m. on the Friday afternoon, where you'll get good education. You get access to being able to ask questions from a bullion dealer directly, which is fantastic too. So do head over there, subscribe there, and you'll get even more than what you can get from me. Anyway, that's it. This video has just blown out to 22 minutes, and I didn't mean to do that. But I hope this video, as always, is good value for you. It's an encouragement for you. I hope so. I'm certainly, even though I bought my gold and silver at a much lower price, the majority of it way lower, I'm still having a look and going, gee, is it a right time to just add a little bit extra? It's come off like $13 from the high that it was in Australian dollar terms. That's a massive drop. It went up massively. It's dropped back massively. It's certainly a time to ask that question. So I'm asking it of myself. Excuse me. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you as always, guys. I appreciate all of your likes, subscriptions, comments, and if you've got any comments and any questions you want to ask me, just pop them in there. I respond, don't you worry. Share this video with anybody you think would benefit from it, and until next time, please take care of your families. I pray a blessing upon you all. God bless you. See you in the next video.